Okay, cut!
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Radisson Red with Ershad and Esther from the Quarantine Hotel.
Well, we have to do this one. I mean, initially, I'd like to give a bit of intro. First of all, it says, as you know, the name is Bobby Comes to Chittagong.
Yes.
Because it's based on the Bangladesh trip we had initially, and we thought that we had such lovely experience. And even for myself, having been born in that country, but returning over many years, every couple of years, I would go back to Bangladesh. But this time, I had been with someone who had been to the country for the first time, so it was a huge experience. And even she made me realize many things about Bangladesh, even though I miss the country always. But she had a fresh view about everything. So it was really refreshing for me as well. So based on that, whatever blogging she was doing, all the pictures and video blogging she had done, thanks to her, so we can share the experience with you. And this is what we are trying to do here. And that's what Esther's going to talk about. And I'll ask her, and through her Western eyes, we would try to understand the country better. So, yeah, I mean, as I asked you before as well, and I'll start with that one rather than giving a huge preamble to the whole situation, whatever we have been through. As we say, even on the intro, you had seen that we're in a managed quarantine hotel in London. We have returned, and we probably would be getting out in a week's time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and looking forward to it. We have been confined within four walls, and I really can't complain about that. I mean, we are having good time, apart from not being able to go out because on day 2 we have to do a test, and
I unfortunately tested positive to corona, but I had my vaccines before, so I picked it up somewhere at the very, very end, actually on the way out of Bangladesh. We probably had left already Bangladesh by that time. And I only had very mild symptoms for a few days. I had every one of the corona symptoms, but in a mild version, and fortunately they're all gone now. So now it's just a matter of waiting it out, and I have to really make sure that I'm safe, which I am, of course. Meanwhile, we're very well looked after. The hotel is beautiful. The room is huge. The service is great. The food is incredible. And, you know, I don't have to cook.
a lot of weight, I feel like.
Yeah, I know we're not exercising a great deal, but, anyway,
great deal.
I was trying to make some of it.
Okay.
Well, we're getting up and we're walking to the door to pick up food. And we're going to the bathroom.
And have breakfast.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I'm not feeling like it, I go back to bed again. And
Yeah,
lie
but
down.
we can do because it's right here. We have a lot of movies we can watch. But we've actually stayed very productive.
Yeah.
I've been writing, I've been reading, I've been doing my
And many of the
edits.
production, what you're talking about, you'll see.
Yeah, they're
on
all
this
done
show
right
tonight,
here in this room.
what we'll do tonight. So you'll get to see. So first of all, I'll start without any further ado. When you first have been to the country, I mean, what were your expectations were? And once you have landed and you have started experiencing the situations and the things in the country,
Yeah.
what was your first impression?
Yeah, well, I mean, you remember, we had landed and we were in Chittagong, and we went with a car from the place where we basically were to our apartment where Ershad's parents live, which is the reason why we went, by the way. This wasn't a vacation because only essential travel is allowed right now, and we did have a family situation that we had to make sure that was going to be okay, because it looked like it was possibly not going to be okay, and it fortunately is, and it will be.
Thanks to you.
No, and thanks to the teamwork. You know, we went there we didn't go for a vacation. We went there to sort this situation out. Which, by the way, if many of you who know Ershad did not see him and did not get to meet me, it's purely because we were a one-track mind to make sure that this was fine. And in between and towards the end, we had a chance to do a few things. Although he made sure I always, whenever we did an errand, he always had me taste food. He always had me do things. So I got to experience a humongous amount of the country, which I loved. But my first impression when we first arrived was complete and utter shock. Other than the fact that we'd been in transit probably for about 25 to 30 hours, and then you add another 5 hours with the time zone. The heat was one thing. Then the monsoon was the very next thing that was already happening. It was a thunderstorm as we were landing. And then the car ride, I was like, oh my God, they drive.
I mean, since you mentioned about the thunderstorm,
Yes.
just hold that thought and where you wanted to take us with the car ride. So let's have a look at what you mean by that.
This is a little video of day 1. We woke up that morning, monsoon rain had started, and he had told me about this growing up in his childhood and how much he loved it. And now I understand. And this was unusual. We had a really hot day. It was 31, feeling like 39 or something, and we had a half an hour long thunderstorm with only lightning. No sound, no rain. Anyway, so that was my first introduction to what I used to think was rain. I realize now really isn't.
Yeah,
You were right.
I've always been talking to you about it, telling you the monsoon is something different. And every time it rained in London, and I used to feel like, okay, yeah, every time it rained heavily, I would enjoy, but it won't last more than 5 minutes in London.
Yeah, that's right.
But there, it's like for days on end. Sometimes it would flood the roads, and cities would literally come to a standstill.
Yeah.
And also, over different period of time throughout the day, it would take completely a different shape or form, I would say.
Yeah.
Like the last one, it was literally lightning, no sound.
Yeah.
It was very funny. I mean,
It was on for
initially
half
I
an
thought
hour.
that someone was
Amazing.
welding something.
I know.
And then literally, and we were about to go out, I think, right?
Yeah, we were going to go out, and it's like, yeah, maybe not.
So, and you're saying that from the airport when you started your journey home, what was the impression?
I mean, I used to describe it as like an assault to my senses, but that would be a negative thing because it wasn't negative. It was just an explosion to the senses. Everywhere there was noise.
It's making acquaintance to an unfamiliar.
Yeah, but it was really sort of, you arrive and you sort of like, bam, there's color and you see trees with fruit hanging off of it, and it's like you just don't see that stuff. Now people probably think I've never seen anywhere. I've been in Caribbean areas, but this was a whole new level. And then just people, humongous amount of people. We just came from an area where lockdown happened and social distancing is very put in. Over there, it's physically not possible.
When we traveled from London to
when we traveled from London to Bangladesh, you arrive in Bangladesh, you just see that social distancing, like we know in Europe, it's impossible. And, everyone's wearing masks. A lot of people are wearing masks. And you can see people being careful, but there's also a point of it just doesn't work somehow. Anyway, and so the probably the scariest part is, and that will probably lead into the next video, is that I was holding on to him while we were driving to the apartment, and I'm like, oh my God, he's driving.
We don't have that right. It was a car, right?
It was a car, but it was like, oh, they drive on the right here? I thought they drive on the left. Oh, hang on, they're actually driving on the left. And then I realized they just drive wherever they're
there's no rules, and even no one stops, even if you drive on the wrong side of the road or wrong side of the lane.
There is no wrong. There's just, you drive where there's space.
You're literally facing the traffic.
That's right.
And it's people don't maintain their lanes or anything.
No, and our car was like on the left, and it was a bit busy, and I guess he saw space on the other side, so he just went to the other side.
On that note, let's watch that video about CNGs.
Oh my God!
How it happened? You tell them.
Oh my God! I basically saw the CNGs and I thought, that's really cute. There's no way I'm going in one of those. And then one day we had no choice. There was no car. It was like we had to urgently go to the hospital, and I was like, okay, fine. And it was so much fun. The best part was I was laughing pretty much the entire time, and I couldn't stop filming it.
So I was worried that my friends told me that don't take your phones out every now and then because you never know, it might get snatched.
Filming with
and every time we'd be on a CNG, Esther would take her phone out straight away. And even when I'm busy, I'm thinking about something else, and she's always with her phone. So let's have a look at what we mean by that travel.
To the
And
great delight of my family, you couldn't believe it when I sent them the videos. My mother described it as a cage on wheels, the racing cage on wheels, and it was what it feels like. I felt like I was in bumper cars. And then one day you took me out for a ride. It was this one.
yeah,
This was nice. You basically had me in an open CNG, so we can actually look at the place.
yeah, it was an open CNG, and I was worried about that. I was thinking, what was I thinking? Because on both sides, but it was lovely environment. It was a
really
good
great
afternoon.
driver. He was really good. He took us to different places, and he was like, "Okay, let's go here. Let's go there."
Lovely. The driver was. He didn't say anything. Normally, people tend to say, "Oh, we can't just go around town without any particular destination."
Yeah.
And he didn't mind. He was just taking us around, and he was rather making suggestions where I should take her. So that was really nice. That's the stadium.
Yeah. And the great children's park.
That's the next to the stadium, the south of the stadium, the children's park.
Yeah. And then the hospital where you were born, which is now a hotel.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're saying that.
And then the hotel. And then of course we went out at night as well because we did have to do errands sometimes. And I just remember there was the bustle and the activity, and
I wonder where this one is.
this is right outside Radisson Blue. This is the evening when we were going to meet up with our good friend.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, it's in CNG.
Yeah, it's
This is where I was
definitely.
trying to show how stuck the traffic gets, and just to get the idea. And this is where the gentleman is sleeping on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's a long trip, looks like, and a lot of different
Every
days,
different day,
different trips
different
because
times, yeah.
lockdown, and every now and then, whenever we felt like going out, sometimes.
Remember when we had to cross?
Because
one of
I
those-
try, I avoid, I try not to drive at all. To be honest, most of the
Yeah.
time, that was one of the things I was trying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, but we had to get out a number of times. Remember the time when we had to cross the big road together?
Oh yeah, that was in GC.
Oh my goodness
In
me.
GC Circle,
Yeah,
we had to cross the road.
something like that.
So that was it. That was the CNGs. So
Yeah.
the CNGs are like they used to be called taxis
Yeah.
back in the days when I was growing up. But they used to be different colors, yellow and black, I think, yeah, like the taxis are normally. But now they're green and it runs on CNG gas, so that's why it's CNG.
Yeah.
So initially you were having trouble to remember the name.
I
You
kept-
got the
I
name
kept-
from your mom,
I kept
Tuk
calling
Tuk.
Tuk Tuk. I
Yeah.
kept calling him Tuk Tuk.
So, but later on you got the name
I
because
got
it's
it.
written
I
there.
figured it in
So-
Bangla.
So CNG is one of her favorite ride, I
Yeah.
would say. But initially, she was very excited. She would always just grab me whenever, and she would just keep on pressing on my knees and
Oh my
everywhere.
god, we're gonna bump into him. Oh my god. It was like being in bumper cars,
The
basically.
fun part was that later on, towards the end of our trip, I think almost halfway through the trip, you started feeling quite at home with the CNG rides.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you used to laugh. You said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I used to get so scared. Now it
Yeah.
all feels just
I
natural."
know. It was actually very safe.
That's all about getting used to things. And
Yeah.
we already have Bradley, by the way, Bradley Simmons, one of my colleagues
Oh,
from
great.
good
Hey,
old days.
Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley.
Thank you for joining.
So Bradley's watching, a very sharp dressed man, as I said before.
Yes.
Eshad and Esther, all the best. Looks fantastic. Thank you. And Saiful Akbar Khan from Dhaka. He's awake.
Good. Oh wow, he's awake.
Yeah.
Nice.
So on that note, let's talk about, we have another thing, CNGs. So what are the rides normally we get in Bangladesh? So
well, we had the CNGs, and of course there's the rickshaws.
Mhm.
And when I first arrived, I was like, "There's no way I'm going on one of those." I mean, I couldn't think about what I would do to this poor fellow having to like paddle. And I remember the first time I went on one, I swore I'm going on a diet. And then I decided I'm never going on one again. And then I thought, next time if it happens, I'll get off, he can get on, I'll start paddling. And then you made a really good point. If we don't use rickshaws, and people don't make money, and so yeah, obviously when we're going up the hill, we go off and we're being kind, and
we have so many like rickshaw pullers in the country.
Water, and we had this particular rickshaw driver. He kept finding us. He's like, "Hey!" And he,
yeah, that was a funny story.
He kept
There's
seeing
one
us.
rickshaw
Oh my
puller.
God.
He was a local in our area, so every time we'd come out, he'd find us.
Somehow, from this over across the busy street, he'd be like, "Hello!"
Yeah, and he would say that, "Okay, I'm not leaving. Are
Yeah.
you? Would you be long?" I said, "No, we are
Yeah,
coming
he
out,
just
going somewhere
waited.
else." I mean, these are the lockdown fun, to be
Yeah.
honest. At the time, we had to go out because we were making a lot of hospital trips and
Yeah.
medical
Yeah.
and buying medicines and things like that. So in between, we would do this thing. So sometimes, I mean, it was really hard for 2 weeks, suddenly go there and getting stuck in the house and not being, there are a lot of things that I needed to do and I didn't have ample amount of time. It was limited amount of time that we had and we had to get everything done within that time. So I was getting quite impatient. So that's when the rickshaw trip would be very useful. But those, I mean, if you convert in currency in British pound, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But then they used to charge exorbitant
Yeah, they
amount
would.
of fare.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then-
but the guy was like, I mean, I remember even for a rickshaw puller, I paid like 350 taka, even 400 taka,
Oh.
because he was taking me to different places
Yeah.
everywhere around. So he said, and I thought, okay, and I wanted to, as I said, that they're hardworking people. They're
Yeah.
not asking
No,
for
they
it just
are.
like
They
so,
really
and
are.
it's really a hard thing, which Esther validly mentioned that initially when she saw a rickshaw puller and what they have to do, she refused to get into one. She said after the first ride, she said, "Can we not do it?" And for a while we couldn't do it because of Esther. Even though I was going from A to B, which is not too far, probably less than a mile, but I couldn't take a rickshaw and it was so hard, I didn't want to walk, and
Yeah.
also traffic wasn't that safe. So
Yeah.
I wanted to take a rickshaw, but she wouldn't. So sometimes I had to take a CNG for half a mile of ride. So anyways, so on that note,
However, I did in the end overcome the problem, and we figured out if I sit on the right side, it's not a problem because then I can hold on to.
I still don't know the
Neither
scientific
do I.
validity
When I
of
sat
that
on the
whole
left, I
situation.
always felt like I was falling off. When I sit on the right, I was totally okay. And yeah, I did actually pull out my phone a few times to make videos.
Okay, let's have a look at the rickshaw situation.
Rickshaw situation.
And also the guilty lady who was on a rickshaw. Let's. Okay.
Yeah, this is us.
This is rickshaw or CNG?
This is nice. Yeah, in the rickshaw. And I remember I sent this picture to my sister, and she was like, "Oh my God, the poor guy." It's totally true. Anyway, that's me. This is Irshad got off because it was uphill, and I looked so guilty.
It was we're going to the hospital. I remember. It's a Eid day.
Here we go. Yeah, and this was during lockdown.
Yeah, we're going for a COVID test. By the
We
way.
went for a COVID test, and the only CNGs were doing hospital runs, and otherwise the roads were clear.
That was really fun. We have some viewers joining in, so I will just let the rickshaw thing stay on. I don't know how. So as you saw, the rickshaw, it's quite a fun ride. I mean, there was a time when I was growing up, I would love to go on a rickshaw ride every now and then because the roads were empty, especially Chittagong was different. It was quite a lot of greens around and roads were quite empty, A to B, and it's not a big town. I mean, the important places we like to go. You could go with a rickshaw and just enjoy and think, philosophize if you want to do that.
I can imagine you doing that somehow.
And my
You have your guitar on you while you're on the
no,
rickshaw.
it's just for the bookshops. So there was one bookshop people would know in DC Hill where they have the annual functions and all those activities. There's a place, the bookshop called De Rosier. So they had all very interesting and rare books, and I used to collect those books, and I used to make lists. Every time I would go, all my pocket money would go on books during
You're
my
so
high
good.
school,
You know,
college.
you're so good.
Yeah, tell me about it. But I lost all the books, by the way.
We
They're all
found
gone.
some of them and we brought them back home with us, so at least we
Yeah.
have them. That's nice.
And okay, so your CNG rides,
Yeah.
rickshaws,
Yeah.
and the experience of traffic and traveling, even though I remember clearly you were saying when we were leaving, going for the airport on the
Oh,
last
yeah.
day, you were
Yeah.
crying and you were saying that looking around and with teary eyed, and you already had cried and you were crying as well. And you're saying, I never thought that I would miss this craziness and
Yeah.
this crazy
Yeah,
traffic,
it's true.
all this crazy
It
driving.
felt like home.
Yeah.
It had felt, but that was a few weeks in already. I'd started feeling like it was home.
Yeah.
In a strange, completely nonsensical way, it felt like home. And I guess it is home because my family are there. You
Yeah.
know, it was really nice to meet your parents, and I was happy that we were able to do what we could do.
However, these things were made possible by the friends we have.
Yes, agreed.
Amazing friends. I mentioned, I thanked them earlier, and Esther thanked them earlier, and
Yeah.
some of the names, I don't mind repeating it over and over again because they're amazing people. They make things possible, especially one of them, again, I have to mention, is Sajjad.
Yeah.
My it's a friend for a long time. We had studied together at the uni, studied law together, and Sajjad had become he's quite a renowned businessman in Chittagong now.
Yeah. He seems to know everyone.
Yeah, and huge network. So
Yeah.
anything I need, any information or anything,
It was really good.
it's just
It was really
one
good.
call to Sajjad, and he, even if he doesn't have it at that time, you just find it from somewhere else. He had that source.
Yeah.
So that was amazing,
That was
and
good.
he made our stay and also Esther's first trip very special.
Yeah.
In every possible way, whenever he could.
Mm.
So great thanks to him. And since we're talking about friends,
Well, I put together a little something with all the different friends that we met while we were there, and I was asked a number of times, what is it about Bangladesh that you like the most? And to me, it's the people. I was told many times before that there's nothing like the Bangladeshi hospitality. I didn't really know what that meant until I got there. We have, close friends and family in the UK that are from Bangladesh, and obviously I had met with them. We'd been around many times. And but it was quite special having the actual experience of being literally not allowed to pay for anything. Like, we're taken out for meals and we're just like, come on, we want to pay.
there.
It would just not. It would be
People
that
get
would be
offended.
offended to if we wanted to pay, and in the end it's like, okay, well, it's just the way it is right now. It was amazing. So the next video is from the different shots of the friends. We'll describe them as we go.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
have a look.
So this was a reunion for the
It's our
batch
university
back-
club.
University club.
So I have
Great
Sajjad
people.
here next to me, then and one of my college friends,
Great
Sajjad
friends
and
now.
Farid, and that's Shamurda of
Oh,
Soft Touch,
wonderful.
and
They
his
gave
son.
me such nice flowers.
He brought the guitar for me,
Yeah.
which I played for months on end.
Yeah.
And
They got me flowers, which was so pretty. And then Irshad, they gave him a guitar that he could borrow while we were there, because he had no other way to practice otherwise. And I actually took some photographs, and I was secretly filming him while he was doing that. I think we've got a bit of footage of you here right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There's Russell.
That's
There's
Russell.
Russell who helped with the car on the way to the airport. So nice. So kind. And here's Sajjad again. With our friend, the police chief.
Shifa join us. Shifa, finally, you're there.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
It's good.
Yeah.
And this is a great meal also.
It was a
arranged
great
by Sajjad.
rooftop. It's Wind of Change in Chittagong,
Yeah.
where Bachugai first inaugurated, I think, and he was there in spirit with us.
Yeah, it was very nice. great company, great friendship, and of course we had Lucky and
Family,
Hajjad.
and that's Neha's sister's house.
Yeah, and she cooked. Oh my goodness me, she cooked
That's Eid
every
Day, I think,
possible
right?
food.
Situation. So I wanted Esther to see what it's like, and it's single-handedly, I think,
Lucky.
provided us that feeling by inviting us to a place and cooking all different kind of beef items. These
Yeah.
items, like beef, sweet beef, spicy beef,
Yeah,
this, and chicken is
amazing.
this, and then roast, and then this, like how it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So big thanks to you, big shout out, and to Lucky,
Really
and
nice.
hopefully we'll
Thank
send
you.
it to Lucky, and Lucky will see.
Yeah.
And again, speaking of food, I think you should, in the meantime, while I play the video, you should get your diary out again,
Yes.
where you had written down all the names in
I
alphabetical
kept the
order.
names of all the foods that he had me try because he wanted to make sure that I try all the things that are traditional, and all the things that he liked as a kid, all the things that had special memories connected to it. And
It's not exhaustive, by the way. There are many people who say, "Oh, there's this, there's this." I know we didn't have the time, and also lockdown happened.
Yeah, but it was.
But we
did
tried.
pretty good.
And we are bad in terms of, once we found one thing which we really like, every day we kept on having it rather than having something different.
Balushai.
Baluchai is our favorite, Rosmalai,
And
and
Chingaras.
Chingara
Oh my God.
burgers. Well, Bangladeshi burger is
Bangladeshi
different.
burgers.
And what else? Another thing. Well, Shingara and Baluchai was definitely.
Yeah, top on the
She
list.
she would learn that word by heart, so she could straight away say Baluchai. Can I have Baluchai?
It's
So
one of the few
all the
words I
time.
actually
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it's almost like every time I would go out, and when she's not with me, I would just buy Baluchai and bring it for her, so she could enjoy.
So of course, mango, lychee nuts. I'm a photographer by profession, so wherever I saw color, I was just so excited. I mean, it was just beautiful. Yeah, and then we had everything has its natural color.
Vegetables as well.
Vegetables, and we were cooking.
You were. I can see that you're fascinated by colors too.
Oh, I am, yeah. But of course, it was really nice when. Oh, that was a great.
Oh,
restaurant.
this is the place. Mom's Yum in Sanmar in
Highly
Chittagong.
recommended. His classmate.
My
Actually.
classmate, yeah.
And then I was totally impressed that these cars go around everywhere with fresh fruit.
Oh, these vegetable sellers, they would come
Well
in the morning.
food. I love well food. And
Baluchai, did you take a photo of your Baluchai?
I know, I actually did in the shop.
This is Shondesh.
Yeah. And
And
then,
that's
of course, the motto.
Oh, that's
Chingaras. Food at home. Can you explain what you're doing?
Oh my God. Trying to make a kind of delicacy with blackberries. And then you just shake it, you break it. Wow.
Oh yes,
Oh,
and
the
this was
biryanis.
nice. Oh, the biryanis. We tried every biryani from pretty much every local place. This is me having my mango, and I thought the spices all have such an amazing
She
color.
would just stop by shops and
Yeah.
take pictures.
Molasses and dates. Yeah, and obviously, I've been told a lot about this growing naturally in this country, and sweet shops, they're made with very few ingredients, but so smart. This was Pit Stop. Love Baluchai.
Yeah.
Oh God, look at all that. One day I'm gonna have an afternoon tea with lots of different goodies, and Shifat is going to join me, right, Shifat? I can see you're watching.
Yeah, Shifat Ghaziuddin.
Oh, yummy.
In London.
Oh, this is amazing.
That's your
my first faluda.
That's your first
My
faluda.
first one.
And that's our second, and many more to come.
Oh my God.
And
And my first copy in 3 weeks, that was.
Yeah, those two things in Sub-Zero in Chittagong we would have.
We love Sub-Zero.
Every time we'd been there, that's my burger.
Burgers and then homemade food. That was nice. I like those.
Yeah. It's a different kind of papur.
Yeah, this was our breakfast every morning. We watched the cricket. This is me with
Murir Mola.
Murir Mola. Different spices.
That's Imperial Hospital.
Yeah,
in their canteen they'll serve those
yum,
desserts.
Yum, yum, yum. I hope everyone's getting
Mr.
hungry.
Cookie.
Mr. Cookie from
I
when
just
I was a
wanted her to
kid.
experience, because when I was growing up I used to love that.
Oh yes, I
They
made
haven't changed. The prices are the same, tastes are the same. I
Yeah.
don't know how they do that.
I like all of that food was nice. Look at that. Oh, this place was amazing too.
It's so hard to keep in
Oh,
taste.
my yum yum yum. And my tea on my balcony, and this is us at the hospital.
Hospital canteen.
Yeah, and more
Ooh.
spices. Yummy. And coconuts. Small demonstration here. You
I was trying to have
this
the
thingy
kernel.
too.
Coconut নারকেলের ভিতরে শ্বাসটা that's my favorite burger.
3 burgers. I got
But
him
then
3
we were
burgers.
introduced
But then
to
we went to Chilox.
Chilox.
Oh my god. That was amazing. Yum yum yum. Yeah, and this is you happy with 3 shingaras, and this is our little corner shop where we got all of our goodies. This is us having more shingaras, and my coffee with my heart. I think this is the last ones.
Oh, these are the 2 things, remember, we had over.
Sub-Zero.
So how much are you enjoying this right now? I'm filming.
Oh, okay.
So
That's what I'm showing. It's my bubble, my childhood
You're
thing,
filming.
and I'm eating, and I'm imagining, and
Oh, I can almost see little Tanvir there. Yum, yum, yum.
Ah, so cute. Little puppy.
So, is that right?
Anyway, yes, that was really nice. To me, I have never expressed food with color. It's when I think of Bangladeshi food, I can see colors. Don't know why.
No, I mean,
No.
definitely, I mean, I agree with you. There are a lot of different colors, colorful food, and variation, because there's
That's the thing, it's
so
so
the
rich.
variation is so
So
huge.
rich, yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely they had to come up with different colors, and because of the ingredients that's been used, definitely. And I cook as well. She cooks now. She can cook quite a few Indian dishes. I hope she remembers,
No,
because
yeah, it's been
you
a long
do.
time. It's been a long time. But when we first got together, I used to think that cooking with 3 spices was a really big deal. Salt, pepper, cinnamon. That was
Cinnamon. Why?
That was it. Well, cinnamon goes in my coffee.
Ah, okay.
And so, but then I met him and he showed me how to cook proper Deshi style, and my God, we've got a big spice cabinet, and I'm like, yep, this one, this one, this one, this one. It's been 2 months, and I'll prove it to you when we come back home.
Yeah, that's the thing. But there's one thing you've definitely learned, that is
Tea.
to make tea with tea leaves
Oh,
rather than tea bags.
oh.
So
But the
that's
most satisfying thing is if I make you a cup of tea and you're like, because you're very,
very good with that
strict.
tea. Exactly how it should be like. I mean, I really love that. So.
And something reminded me actually today, because you know how we're saying we have this funny thing now because we're in a quarantine hotel, and so when they're not allowed to come in the room and we're not allowed to go out, and especially since I tested positive, we can't even leave for a walk anymore. But we always know when we hear outside the rustle paper crinkling. And it's like, I used to joke about my cat and my dog going like, yeah, well, they never listen to me until they hear the paper crick, crick, crick. And what does that remind you of? The little rustling. It reminds you of dogs. And that's actually what I was going to ask you about next.
Okay.
It's something I would like to share.
Yeah, dogs especially. We'll talk about the animals in Bangladesh in general, because you have nature, you have a lot of interesting things that you try to capture. But yeah, animals, stray dogs, and also how they're treated. This is one of the things we want to talk about. I would repeat myself, and I don't mind repeating myself, because these are the issues that should be dealt with as soon as possible. There should be stringent laws. Anyway, let's have a look.
We, however, had 4 dogs that befriended us and that his father has been looking after already. He was always feeding them, and we started feeding them too. And we have some footage and some photos of.
So you know what we were talking about. So the dogs were Poltu. There was a small brown dog with a white stripe on the neck, and then there's one called Black and Brown. It's Rover, very nice physique and nice profile, very strong. And there's another one who's getting quite old, and that's what my father is all about. He looks after those 3 and everyone else, but there have been people who have been quite cruel towards them in the neighborhood, and they would get this very angry eyes from Esther.
Whenever anyone's like, I give them the evil eye, so they leave my dogs alone.
So let's have a look what we're talking about.
Yes. This is Poltu and Rover chasing each other. I was filming that from the balcony actually. This guy was
On the left, we should call him Rover. Rover. There we go. Quick to pull to. And off the street, baby, because it's car. Nice. This is Poltu over here, and that's Rover. We should also, yeah, look at that, nice. This is good.
So that's
You would
basically
think
Poltu
that
and
they're
Rover.
to eat, but if you look, they're not quite.
The other one is coming.
Ex-
No. Both of them is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
If we,
Like that, main, no feast.
maybe we should go closer to our garage. This is Poltu.
Yeah, so that was right outside from our balcony, and this was at the Imperial Hospital, where the gardens around the whole place. I mean, I found that every major place that is like a nice estate or something, they have nice flowers, well looked after, and yeah, it just looked really well cared for. This is a specific place where a certain person walked on the grass when he shouldn't have walked on the grass, but that was fine.
Talking about my father.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he was in the hospital. He was
He's like,
admitted
he
in the
didn't want to
hospital.
take the street, he didn't want to take a shortcut, so he just went straight through the grass. That was very funny. This is when we knew he was doing much better.
Yeah.
I love your dad, by the way. He's amazing. And we were sitting in that garden right there that day, and we were both enjoying the sun together. That was a lovely moment. Oh, the flowers there. These are things which in my place where I've grown up, you don't see those things. Those colors and
Yeah, different flowers and based on different weathers.
yeah, I mean, Holland is tulips mostly. And then of course, we went for our walks, and I
It's
was
a fertile land. I mean, we have fertile land.
Yeah, very very nice.
Soil is very
and it
fertile.
grows all beautifully. It really went. And you told me all of the names of these flowers at the time, which you knew very well. Don't remember them all.
I mean,
I kept
in
a few.
Bengali, I know them. I don't know their scientific names.
Yeah. Well, here you go.
Biology,
This is a good garden example. Like just on the estate where we live, people really look after their gardens, and it's a pride and joy. And
So nighttime walk
Yeah.
when you stop by and take picture.
that's right. Yeah, and we had a good time walking around there. And then of course we had these roof gardens right next to our balcony where a lot of these pictures are also taken from. And the other thing you told me about was birds.
Okay,
And,
that's the national bird.
Yeah, the national bird, which even made it on the taka, on the little taka.
So yeah.
There he is. And you said that if you have two of them, they bring good luck. And we had two of them always outside our balcony. And the two eventually gave birth to a little one. Then it was three, and there's the little one. Yeah.
So we used to watch these two birds every now and then in balcony whenever we'd sit down. Sometimes it would be two, then they would become three. So one thing, it was a superstition, but funny thing, when my mother had taught me that one for sorrow, two for joy. So every time I used to see one, I would say, no, I haven't seen anything today. But when there's two, I say, oh yeah, where's that?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a funny game we were playing just outside our balcony. Just it's a building next door, so on the roof we would always see that, and we literally had seen the growth of the small bird when it couldn't fly, and later on it started
Hopping
flying.
around and
Yeah.
eventually flew around.
Yeah.
And I remember very often, because you told me that superstition, whenever there's one, I said, oh, there's one here, but I saw the other one around the corner.
What other things that you felt that you were very much touched by?
Well, I mean, there's obviously just the culture itself, and naturally because of our connection through music and my own connection to music, having grown up in a family of musicians. For a while, I was a director in a community center. I did many events, and it was good because I did a lot of events with Asian groups. It was from Pakistan, from India, Bangladesh. So, and before I would start these events, I would always look them up. And the main thing I found was the music. And well, one of the things that happened actually was when we were there, we were in his parents' place, and his original tambura was there from when he was young. And And I remember seeing this thing being, I love the sound anyway. And I love it when he practices with, you can upload them from your phone and stuff. It's like, my God, you actually have one of these. And it hadn't been touched for a long time. His parents very, very nicely, they had taken it from house to house and it was there. And so one day we decided that I decided it was going to come home with us, and you started, well, first you were going to give it to your music teacher, and then you decided, actually it's so nice.
No, I mean, it was lying around, I mean, in our living room behind or next to the couch, the big couch we have there. And I haven't touched it or even went close to it because I didn't have the time initially because of the emergency I had to attend to. We both
Yeah,
went there
true.
for the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
So I was not even in the mindset to think about music or anything musical. To be honest, that was the last thing coming to my mind, which is a sad thing for a musician or an artist. But then one day she said, "Okay, don't you want to look at the instrument or what it's like or how it's at the moment?" And I just went close to that thing, and I found it was heartbreaking to see that how the tuning pegs, one of the tuning pegs was broken, and the bridge, and all the strings are missing or some of them are hanging. Is literally just crying, literally telling me that please rescue me. So from that point onwards, I was just looking, okay, how I can do that. I mean, I'm quite back in the days when I started my music lessons on that instrument. I was even to tune it, fine tune everything. I was very dependent on my teacher. But ever since, I mean, I now do all my instruments. I fix them. I
Yeah.
work on them, and
Mm.
I've learned these things. I felt it gives me. I mean, you have seen me work on them for
Oh
hours.
yeah, and once you get going, you're a one-track mind. It doesn't stop until you fix.
Yeah,
No,
I,
and you
that's
fixed your instruments and you fix other
I,
people's
so
instruments.
I felt that I can. It's nothing in terms of what I had handled in terms of electric guitars and other things. So I thought, why not try to fix it myself?
Yeah.
Initially, I wanted to book an appointment with a shop. I thought, okay, acoustic instrument, they would do it themselves. I spoke with Olugda of Ganesh and Sons in Chittagong. And they said that by the time I had been in touch with them, it was quite late. So they're saying, we won't be able to give you before you leave. So I thought, okay, I'll do it myself. So I was on a mission to buy the parts that those were missing. So from that point onwards, the mission started.
But of course, when you went to the shop, you couldn't not play some guitars there for you.
Replacement parts.
Yeah.
That's Ganesh and Kong or Ganesh and Sons thing.
Yeah.
These are the things I was trying to fix. Yeah, that's me at work trying to fix the tanpura. It's a 30-year-old instrument, and my first instrument where I started taking my music lessons.
Yeah.
I love this. So the tanpura was rescued, and then in that process I had to go through that one shop quite over and over again, and to source a lot of different parts of the instrument, sometimes tuning pegs, the carry case and everything. So this video I had done while I was waiting for a lot of different parts to arrive. First of all, it's very inspiring to see that new young children, they're very eager to learn a musical instrument, whatever the reason is. But it's a different question whether they would stay on that path or not. But to know, or any form of art, if you practice on it, it's very important for your mind as well, for your mental development, I think. And it's proven scientifically. One thing, there are many teachers or musicians who might have a lot of students. One of my thing, the request to use that, inspire them to learn their instrument as well. If you're playing an instrument, it's imperative you know the way around it. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'll stop my rant. Okay, so we kind of towards the end of this live, I think, but we'd like to end it with that somber tone and the emotions that it was evoking when we were leaving the country and what we were feeling, especially Esther cried all the way to the airport.
I felt like I was leaving home. Like it was really that. I would never have thought in my wildest dreams that I would gotten so close to the country, the people, and everything that happened there. And as you said,
What were you missing especially?
I don't know. You know, you can't explain. Like, why is it that when you leave your home, where you've grown up, there's smells, there's noises, there's sounds, there's people, there's things that make you feel at home, and somehow I felt that. You know, absolutely. I was very sad also to leave your parents behind. I love your parents, and we got along so well with them. And obviously there's a sense of worry to make sure that they're going to be okay and, you know, ready for us to bring them over to us at some point.
Yeah.
Because obviously with the whole COVID situation, it is so hard to fly and move around right now. Like we had to go through so much to get there, and even more to get back. So
and also there's this aversion towards vaccination. People are like, okay, we don't want to get ourselves vaccinated. It's one of the things I see. This literally, people are very much reluctant to get vaccinated, and they quote the same issue, saying that okay, we have seen if you have certain physical conditions or certain disease that you have, chronic conditions, then you're not supposed to take the vaccines. But the thing is that I can now literally confidently say that because of the vaccination, me and her as well, she was found positive when we were in the quarantine hotel on day 2. Because of that, you could get away with milder symptoms, and you are doing quite okay. There's nothing, right? You're totally doing fine, and I'm fine as well.
It's very difficult to fly right now, and that's what I was so sad about, because I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna see this place again. And anyway, I was in the car, you know, given set up arranged for us by our friend Russell, and so there was him, and there was the tempura between
in the middle,
us. So he couldn't see me, and I was just looking out the window, and I was filming, and I tucking.
So every time I had to look at her, I had to lift it up or go under the tempura. Under the tempura, I just tuck my head in and see her. So I saw her crying, and I asked her what happened, and she kept on crying repeatedly.
Yeah, and I think I wrote it in my blog later on too. The very thing that when we first arrived and we were driving, the very thing in that car that would drive me into a near cardiac arrest, like holding on to the knee, going like, oh my God, what is this? Was the very thing that just made me feel soothing and at home and at ease. It had now become part of me, and that is something I will definitely always have with me.
And we'll go back definitely.
Absolutely. And we're going to see everyone.
We made so many friends.
Yeah.
I can't thank them enough.
No,
you can feel that. I feel that every now and then.
And we talk about it all the time. When we're not on air, when we're always so lucky that we have you all. Yeah.
And thanks to you as well. Like there had been many occasions when I came back from Bangladesh on my own, and literally it was just me, and it was so hard to get into the house. You know, totally. and leaving all those
Oh my
familiar
God.
faces behind. And
Please, you're
just,
gonna make me
no,
cry.
I don't have that now.
You're gonna
But
make me
you're
cry.
with me, and we walked into this hotel and confined in
And
the
we've been stuck here ever
yeah
since.
in these four walls for
Oh my
2
God.
weeks. Okay,
Oh boy.
so this is the day when we were driving today.
Yeah. And there you go.
Yeah.
I'm not crying anymore now, though. I did cry for the first 3 days.
No, I mean after the live we can cry again.
Yeah.
We have all the time of the world for the next 7 days
we have
again.
7 days
It's
where we
been
can
extended.
cry.
It's one thing we're planning.
Mm.
Just
Heads up.
Heads up. Yeah, exactly. So we would like to bring many interesting shows in future. A lot of different topics where we'll talk about these things, and we'll share our own ideas, and also like to have audience interaction.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, that's the idea. And in fact, this is the result of a brainstorming that she come up with. I thought, okay, she started saying, okay, how about if we come live and sharing these things with people? How about we do a trailer for that? I said, okay, let's do that. And so on that note, thank you, and everyone who had been, and everyone who had joined us on this live, everyone who inspired us to do these things and create interesting things so far, and what I've been doing, all my journey and her journey, and how we have been together, and how they have given us the love after we have united. We thank you all.
Yes.
And thanks for being with us. And on that note, I'd like to say good night.
And good night.
Bye.